What is up, breath of fresh air? It's your boy Patrick. It's been a while since I've been on here, but hey, I'm back. I'm going to give you a really good, interesting topic that we're going to discuss today. So let's jump right into it. Locker rooms. Let's get it. Y'all are under the microscope. Let's get it. Y'all going to be pointed out. Let's get it. Let's do it. Okay. So let's jump right into it, and we're going to start off with a couple of days ago, one day ago, Kirby Smart, for the head coach for the Georgia Bulldogs, my Georgia Bulldogs, who is number one, and we are killing it right now, so I'm gloating a little bit, but that's okay. Kirby Smart had a locker room leak, and quite the inspiring speech, if you ask me. I'm not going to display it here. I'm a huge fan of what happens in the locker room, stays in the locker room. So this guy will not be leaking anything. If you want to see it, go see it. That's up to you. But it will not be leaked by Patrick on Breath of Fresh Air. So, but it was leaked. It comes after last year, Georgia lost to Florida, 44-28, I think. Charles, you can fact check me on that. Leave it in the comments. I think it was 44-28, and Florida just ran all over Georgia. They did. Florida was a better team, and Kirby Smart has expressed that he is not a huge fan of the Florida Gators. So, with that being said, excuse me, he had quite the inspiring speech in the locker room. And let me tell you, I went and listened to it. Guilty. Even though I'm a huge fan that it should stay in the locker room, I did go and listen to it. I mean, it's if it's out there, I guess I am going to listen to it. But let me tell you, man, if you don't want to play for him after listening to that speech, it should make you want to play for him. He dropped a lot of cuss words in there. It was locker room etiquette, is what I call it. To me, it's fine. If you're going to release the anger at a halftime speech, that's where you do it, right there. So, with that being said, he is not actually getting a lot of backlash on this, which is really good. I mean, dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I played for that man, I would be hitting everybody. I would love to play for a man that gives that inspiring of a speech at halftime. Again, it is very very vulgar, but inspiring nonetheless. So, what comes out of this is this. My question is, why did this get leaked? As good as it is to me, I mean, and a lot of people may or may not feel the same way, why did it get leaked? Who is the one that is leaking this stuff in the locker rooms? Now, there are certain things that I do agree with. You know, if I think there was a basketball head coach a couple of years ago for a college that was doing some illegal stuff with his female team. Absolutely. Leak that stuff. If it's an inspiring speech the way Kirby Smart did, to me personally makes me think that much highly of him, because he is just he is showing you the, what's the word I'm looking for? The control, not the control, the love that people have for him. And he's winning that locker room. He has got those kids playing at their best abilities right now. He is getting the most out of his players. He is very, very much doing the Nick Saban thing. Unfortunately, this got leaked out. And so my question is this. Why? Why did it get leaked? Why are people videoing this and leaking this when this is the quote unquote, what I call, and I'm quoting it because I don't know what everybody else calls it, I call this locker room etiquette. This is where it needs to be, and this is where it needs to stay. It doesn't need to be out here on the internet for everybody to listen to, whether it's good or bad. I mean, like I said, Kirby Smart's was very vulgar. Ed Orgeron had one after an Alabama game last year, I think. Maybe it was this year. I think it was last year. And his shouldn't have been leaked. And it was a good speech that, or well, I mean, it was okay, I guess. I think he clowned on Alabama a little bit, which is not what it's about. But the thing is that it shouldn't have been leaked, regardless of what he said about Alabama and how he said it or whatever. That shouldn't have been leaked. That's the locker room. That's where it is. What happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. Whatever is said in the locker room stays in the locker room. So why did it get leaked? That's one thing I'm looking at the people that's in that locker room, in the Georgia locker room, in the LSU locker room, in the Alabama locker room, in the Ohio State locker room, in the Michigan locker rooms, in the UCLA locker rooms. Why are they getting leaked? Don't leak the crap that is in your locker room. Keep it where it needs to stay, in your locker room. Now, if it's stuff that needs to be leaked, rape or something like that, absolutely. I'm totally in agreement with that part. But if this is a motivational speech to get your team fired up, and this is what Kirby Smart did, if it was motivational, leave it in the locker room. If it's clowning on Alabama, leave it in the locker room. If it's telling Ohio State that they suck, or telling Michigan that they could have done better, or whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. It stays in the locker room. So people, keep it in the locker room, because that's where it's supposed to be. Coaches look at that as a sacred place between him and 55, 60 other kids, or 55 to 70 other people, because there's coaches and everything. He looks at that as his sacred ground to say the things he needs to say to motivate his players. Keep it in the locker room. That's what I say. Keep it in the locker room, because it's not meant for us to hear. It is meant for the kids that are fixing to hit the field to hear. Leave it where it is. I always tell my kids, if you lose a football game, you leave that on the field. That's where it needs to stay. If you win, you take pride in it, but you leave your losses and your win. You leave all that on the field, and you go about your next day, and you get ready for the next team. Locker rooms are no different. They're motivational speeches. Leave that in the locker room. It's not meant for us to hear. Kirby Smart, as motivational as I felt that it was, as good as I thought it was, it still needed to stay in the locker room. Nobody needed to leak that. Well, anyway, that's what I'm breathing on. Y'all know the deal. Smash that subscribe button. Leave some comments, feedback. Let us know what we're doing, good, bad, ugly. It don't matter. We always love the feedback, and we always respond to the comments. So until next time, I'm out.